everyone, welcome to Sweet Tomato Vine Homestead. I'm Linda, and today I am getting my workout on my YESOUL fitness machine, and I am watching the news as I do so, and it is very entertaining to be able to watch the news or watch a video or listen to some music while you're exercising, and it just makes exercising a whole lot easier, and it makes you just want to go ahead and get it done. I'm going to go ahead and get a workout, and I'm going to take you all along with me.
Showcasing their skills on the small screen in the new Disney Plus documentary, Harlem Ice.
5, 6, 7, 8.
The 5-part series follows the challenges and triumphs of the Charlie, an online platform that offers banking for seniors, released a list of the celebrities most impersonated by fraudsters, topping the list Keanu Reeves, Jason Momoa, and Sandra Bullock.
Our thanks to Lionel for that, and thank you for streaming.
Approving an emergency disaster declaration for Kentucky due to widespread flooding. We're noting is the northern tier of this system. That's where the wintry weather has been. If you live in Boston, you've seen snow, you've seen some sleet lately. All of this comes as pressure mounts on Israel and Hamas to move to phase 2 of the ceasefire agreement. ABC's Marcus Moore has the latest.
U.S. Secretary of
Sources are telling us that these workers don't. Iconic Maxine Shaw.
If you stuck with me through my 30-minute workout, thank you. And be sure, if you are working out, also that you be sure to stretch before and after your workout. So now you're going to start some flower seedlings. First one is passion flower. And this one, it needs light to germinate, but it also has to be scarified. So I'm going to get a file or some sandpaper, and I'm going to scar these seeds up, and then I'm going to plant them. Some seeds that have this hard coating, they need scarifying, and they need to be soaked. So I'm going to see if y'all can see those seeds. They may need to be soaked also. I know that they do need to be scarified, and they're going to need light to germinate. So as the size that they are, although they are pretty large, they're going to basically be on top of the soil. I'll probably put a little vermiculite on them, but they'll be on top of the soil. There I have some cosmos. They also, all the seeds I have in my hand now need light to germinate. These are geraniums. That's what they will look like. Some zinnia. Wallflower. I'm going to be dropping some more Dusty Miller seeds. There's no picture on them. Have some columbine. These are lobelia, and they also need light to germinate. There's no picture. Then I have some purple sweet alyssum, and they also need light to germinate. I have some Shasta daisies. They need light to germinate. And then I have some pansies. So those are the seeds that we're going to plant today. And we'll be having others because you need to get some flowers in our gardens to draw in the pollinators to help pollinate the plants that we have. They're going to need to be pollinated in the summer, like our squash, cucumbers. Just about all of the summer plants need pollination. Watermelons, all of those, they need to be pollinated. The eggplants, all of those have flowers, and they're going to need pollinators to come in and to pollinate them and move that pollen around and get those to produce the fruit. So that's all of that is very important, and that's why flowers are very important. I love to grow food, but I also have to grow some flowers. There has to be some flowers in the garden drawing the pollinators. Even though during the summer month, I fight with a lot of those pollinators, especially the wasp. Bees, I get along pretty good with bees, except there was this one little tiny bee stung me recently, and it was at the end of the summer. Maybe it was in the fall that this tiny bee stung me. But most of the time I get along pretty good with the bees, but the wasps and the yellow jackets are the ones that I have a problem with. But I'm going to try to, we're going to try to coexist together and get along in the garden this year, hopefully. And I'm going to try not to complain about them so bad. I'm going to try to kill as few as I possibly can. And we're going to try to get along out there in the garden this year. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get my soil. And these are trays that I'm going to be putting these flowers in. I got a big tray because I need a lot of flowers. So I'll be dropping quite a few seeds. And these are not the only seeds that I'm going to be dropping. I will be dropping some more seeds because I have some other varieties of flowers. But some of those don't need the light to germinate. I'm trying to get all the ones that need the light to germinate into the same container. This container has pretty much had it. But y'all, I went through all the other containers. And I potted up some stuff because I did not show you all everything that I potted up. I started some more seeds over these last few days. And I had not did any videos because I was starting seeds, but I just did not do it because I was doing stuff that I had already shown you all that I was doing, like up potting some of my things. And I'll probably go back and up pot and show you all some of the things that I'll be up potting. But I talked about the purslane. I talked about, but what I did want to talk about, I talked about the purslane and up potting it. Someone mentioned that they had some that had been growing wild in their garden. And I just wanted to say, because I found out that purslane has a twin, and it's something that looks a lot like purslane, but it's not purslane, and it is called spurge. And spurge has the same look as purslane, but it is toxic. But it is also medicinal. So I want you all to do your research on that. But one thing I did want to mention also about the spurge is that as a child, I don't know where we got the impression. I think some other kids told us, and we were under the impression, and I think I told you all this in another video, that we didn't know it. I didn't know at the time that it was called spurge, or that it was a twin to, or that it looked a lot. I'm not going to call it a twin. It looks a lot like the purslane, and we were using it though as kids. And I'm not telling anyone else to use this. Do your own research. We were using it as kids, and what we were using it for, because as I told you, once you break it apart, you would see it has this milky substance in it. And we were taking those spurge as children, and whenever we had a cut, we would go out in the yard and we would look for it. And we would apply it to our sores. And you all, I found out recently that is what the use is for, and that the Cherokee Indians use it for that purpose. Do your research though, to make sure that you're knowing which one of these are which. Make sure that you don't, the spurge is S-P-U-R-G-E, spurge. Do not get the spurge and the purslane confused, because the purslane is not toxic, but the spurge is toxic. So the herb for today is spurge. So go ahead and look that one up and find out as much as you can about it. And remember, I did tell you that it's toxic, but I did tell you that I did use it, but I'm not telling no one else to use it, so don't get none of that confused. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead. I'm going to I'm gonna put some soil in here, and we're gonna start to dropping some of these flower seeds. Okay, so I went ahead and made my labels, and now I'm gonna put my soil in. Yeah, I had to go outside to get my trowel so that I could do this faster. And it is so cold out there. I'm going to check to see exactly what the temperature is in a few minutes. But it is very cold. And it's going to feel like it's colder than it is, because in the last few days we've had temperatures in the 70s. So that is why it is going to feel extremely cold now. Because the temperatures had gotten very warm. Okay, so I got my seed tray filled with some potting mix, and this is my black gold potting mix. And now, first thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to scarify these passion flower seeds. And the scarify, I've just got 2 files. This is a emery board, and then this other one is in a buffer. And I got the seeds on top of the buffer, and I'm going to just take my emery board, and I'm just going to scrape it across those seeds to scarify them. I don't want to overdo it and mess my seeds up, but I am going to kind of rough those seeds up. You can do the same thing with some sandpaper. And so now, since I've got them done, I'm going to go ahead and drop them into my seed tray. And you all, I appreciate you all so much when you comment, when you make comments. And I learned so much from you all in the comments, and I appreciate it. And someone was mentioning to me that I could go ahead and just drop the calendula seeds in the garden and not worry about putting them into these cells, because calendula will grow really easily. And they will. And I did drop some out into the garden. I dropped some calendula in my Dollar Tree stackable. And I probably dropped some in some other areas too. And those were some of those days when I just wanted to plant something, and I put some calendula out. I put some zinnia out. I'm also going to be planting some zinnia in this seed tray. So a lot of times I will go ahead and I will put some of these plants in these cell trays. And one reason is so that I can share them with other people. That is one reason. But then there are some that I would like to have more strategically placed in my garden and not just sprinkle everywhere. If I take a pot, if I take one of these little, once I've up potted and take them out in one of these, then I can put it where I want to put it better than just going out and sprinkling a lot of seeds. And when I have them in these, I can also share them with other people. And as I mentioned in the comment, I can give them one of these biodegradable containers and not have to worry about giving them one of my pots that are reusable and that I need, next season in my garden or this season. And also someone asked me about these containers, if I put a hole in the bottom. Well, these containers already come with holes. These biodegradable containers already come with holes in them. But once these sit into the seed tray and constantly are watered throughout this season when they're still inside, when I get ready to take them outside and put them in the garden, most of the time when I pick them up out of their seed tray and get ready to place them in the garden, that's kind of just almost disintegrates in my hand, and it's just falling apart. And I just put it in there in the soil, and I don't have to worry about poking holes or cutting the bottom out or anything, because once it's getting watered, this will start to disintegrate. So I just wanted to answer a few questions also while I was dropping these seeds. And so the next one, I just did the passion flower. And as you see, I told you that the passion flower needs light to germinate. Although it's scarified, I placed it on top of the soil basically, and I pressed it down. The next one I'm going to do is the Shasta daisy. And these seeds are so tiny. I'm just going to sprinkle them on top of the soil. So basically, all of these seeds are tiny, and I will be dropping them on top of the soil. So I'm just going to go ahead and drop these seeds. And I do have my labels already made over here. And one thing that I did want to mention, though, go ahead and put my label on for my Shasta daisy and kind of give it a push. And I run out of my labels that I like to use when I'm starting my seeds. And I ordered some trays, the same trays I ordered before, and they sent me those free labels, and those labels were tiny, and I love them. And then I ordered those same seed trays again, and this time they sent me some larger labels, and they were more plastic. And I'm really not liking those that much. I don't know if I have one handy to show you all, but it is very, very plastic. It is very hard plastic, where these are this is what the other ones were made out of. It's more like it's plastic, papery pack. Yeah, it's plastic. Because I cannot tear this with my hand. So yeah, it's plastic. But those small labels were made out of this same thing. And these labels are just larger. I can't cut them. But really, they don't even cut that easily. But I could cut them. Let me see. Show you how. I don't even have anything up here that I can really cut them with. But this here, this is not what I want to use to cut this. So, but yeah, these are not my favorite. But also, I wanted to talk about these pansies. And these pansies are the same pansies. I don't have a picture or anything on here. But they are, I ordered these online. And these pansies are called Swiss Giant Pansy Mix. And I got these off Amazon. But there was supposed to be 1,000 seeds in here. But these, last year, I did not have, I had great germination with this. But it did not look anything like what I was expecting. So we're going to try these again. Make sure that I didn't get them mixed up with something. And that is another thing that is best when, I'm going to go ahead and sometimes put the seeds into these cell trays. That way, once they come up in the cell tray, you'll be able to tell more about them if this is what you actually planted. Because now I know that I put these, it says pansies. It says pansies here. And it also says pansies here. And I'm going to put my label in here that says pansy. So once these seeds germinate, then that is what I'm going to expect to be here. But if I go out and I just sprinkle these out in my garden, and y'all, I sprinkle stuff. I told you all, sometimes I just get that mood to plant something, and I'll just go out there like, the sprinkling fairy, and I just start sprinkling seeds all over the garden. And that's what I do. That's how I ended up with a food forest last year. And I've been transparent with you all about what happened. And that is why sometimes, to me, it is best for me to just go ahead and put these flowers that I know, like zinnias, into these seed cells, these seed tray cells, and then take them out into my garden and personally place them where I want them. And then I'll know that this is what this is, and then I'll put a label out there. Because even if I put a label out there, if I'm constantly sprinkling stuff out there, sometimes I over-sprinkle myself. Sometimes I over-sprinkle. And then there's, I have a lot of stuff, planted on top of each other. I'm just trying to be transparent with you all. And, to me, I don't even think that's a horrible way to garden. Because it really gives you a great production in your garden. Although sometimes you have a lot of surprises in your garden, but it's still a great way to do it. So I am 100% for going out and putting some calendula seeds out into the garden, and not really worrying about it a whole bunch. Put them out there, and especially calendula is not toxic, so I can sprinkle it right in there with my vegetables. And so that is one thing that I will be doing. These seeds were sent to me by Latasha. Thank you, Latasha. She also sent me some other seeds I'm fixing to use real soon. And we'll talk about that in another video. That one was the zinnia. And so as you can see, I got the zinnias just like laying right on top of the soil, because these zinnias right here are some that likes the light. And I wrote it on there, but it also says, even though it likes light, it wants me to sprinkle a little bit of soil on it. So I'm trying to make sure, and I would also recommend that you are, following the directions that are on your seed package, so that you can go ahead and do what those packages are saying to do for those particular seeds. And then you'll, I think, have a better success with what, you're trying to grow. And someone asked me another question. The only thing I can say is, because I don't know what you do in your garden. And so I can't, say what could have what went wrong, but I can give you a few variables of what possibly could have gone wrong, you know, when the you did not get the germination that you want, or even if it germinate that it died. I can only give you what could have gone wrong. So and more than likely going to be quite a few things, and then you can kind of choose and say, well, did I do this? And one thing that I find that I do with my seedlings and that I have to be very careful about is overwatering. You do not, either way, you do not want to underwater and you do not want to overwater these seedlings. Because if you do, you can kill them either way. And one thing that I have learned to do is I check the bottom of this tray. I will lift this up and I will look underneath here and look in the tray and see, is the bottom of my tray dry? Because if you wait and you do this here test and lift it up and see if your if this is light or if it's heavy. Sometimes it's heavy, saying, yeah, it definitely don't need to be watered. But sometimes if you wait and you do this and it's light, very light, then more than likely you have already let this guy too dry. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to get to that point. You want to make sure that you're staying in the medium, you know, between moist and, you know, just in the center. You don't want to let it get too wet. You don't want to let it get too dry. So one thing I do is I look at the top of my tray, and the top of my tray, that soil will have a different look once it is starting to get dry. It will, instead of it looking rich and brown like it's looking right now, because this soil is moist, it will have that light brown look to it. And that means that it's drying out on the top. So once it's dried out on top, then you can do it. If you're able to get your finger in there, you can do a finger test. You can go in there and you can stick your finger in and you can see, well, does it feel moist under the surface? So if it feels moist on the surface, then you'll say, well, okay, I'm okay. But if it feels dry beneath that surface, when you stick your finger down and you know this is where your plant's roots are, your seedlings' roots are, then you know that you are too dry if you can stick your finger down there and you don't feel any moisture. So you want to go ahead and you want to moisten those plants. The way that I water my seedlings is from the bottom. Make a big difference in how you are watering those seedlings. And another thing is, you know, make sure that you're having some air circulation so that those seedlings can not dampen off and kill those seedlings at the soil surface. You don't want to do that. So you want to keep air circulating in the area where your seedlings are. Another thing, and very important also, is the legginess of those seedlings is very important. And y'all, it is so easy to let those seedlings get too leggy. And that is what, another thing that is hard, it is very hard to stay on top of, because it just can make the difference in a half of a day that you do not go by and look, and you'll see that that seed has germinated in that plant, especially tomatoes. Tomatoes are ones that it's like they are sneaky. It's like those tomatoes are like they say, and they want to. I just take your eye off me for 1 second. I'm getting leggy on you, because you're going by there and look that morning and you don't see any germination. You go back that night and they've germinated. They're still underneath that dome, and they're reaching for the light already. So I had it happen to me. And one thing that you can do, that I recommend, overseed that tray just a little so that you will have some extras. And once you see that that tomato has germinated and that it has already gotten leggy, you can go ahead and you can take something small, like some small scissors. This is something that you can use, but something just small where you can go in there and you can get that one leggy one off. And then you know that you have some more seeds coming that are going to germinate also. So you get that one leggy one off, or however many leggy ones popped up. You know that now the germination is fixing to happen. Go ahead and take that dome off, because seedlings have started germinating. Go ahead and take that dome off, put them under that light, and yeah, go ahead and remove those leggy ones. Just go ahead and remove them. But you got some extra ones that are going to pop out from under that soil because you overseeded those tomatoes just a little bit. So that is what I recommend doing, because it's very discouraging once you plant out those tomatoes and you waited, you know, because tomatoes don't take long to germinate. That's another thing. They don't take long at all. Sometimes a couple to a few days, and your tomatoes will have germinated. And your cabbages and your brassicas are the same. They will germinate. I planted some broccoli, and I planted that broccoli like 2 days ago, and the broccoli and cabbages are up. So that is, like I said, I was planting some things when I was not with you all, because I know that you know, this will kind of be doing basically the same thing that I had already shown you all in some of my videos. And, you know, I just wasn't trying to just keep doing that, showing you all the same things. But if you all want me to show you everything, I will still show you, like I'll still show you what is in my seed trays and what's under my grow light. But if you all tell me that you want me to show you all when I am planting certain things, I'll do it. But I just don't want to, you know, it to just get like, well, yeah, we got that, you know. But like I say, and some things I might show you and have already shown you how I did some things, and then, but there is another discussion on some of those other things. Keep saying the same thing over and over, or going over the same thing over and over. So, if you all let me know in the comments, and I will go from there. So now we are up to our geraniums, y'all. We want some of these. And see, I need some more seeds, because this here is just a few. I'm gonna plant some geraniums in here. I'm not gonna be greedy. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna plant these geraniums, and I'm gonna be satisfied, because there are going to be a lot of flowers. There are gonna be a lot of seeds that are gonna get planted. These were the cosmos that I just planted right here, and so I'm going to kind of give them a little press, because you might can see that those cosmos seeds were kind of large, but they are. Look on the back to make sure I did put, because these are all supposed to, yeah, those cosmos right there. And those are, they need light to germinate. So y'all be sure that you are looking at that too when you are getting ready to drop your seed. Look to see if those seeds need light to germinate. That is going to be very important when you are planting out your seeds. That could be one thing that, you know, a lot of people might say, well, I've been planting seeds all this time. You might feel like I've been planting seeds all this time. I never cared about whether or not they needed light to germinate. But I think that it's very important that you know which one needs light and which one do not, because as we have been planting seeds all the time, and some things it's like it comes kind of natural, because like, for instance, planting the mustard greens and the collard greens, I always have broadcast them on top of the ground. One thing, because the seeds are so tiny, I did not want those little seeds to get lost by covering them back up with soil. But I did not know that those seeds were that they actually needed the light to germinate. I was just doing it because I didn't want them to fall underneath the surface of the soil and I lose my seeds. And that is why I did it. And that is the truth. That is the only reason I did it. And so now I know that they also need that light to germinate. They actually need the light. They need that sunlight, or they need to go underneath that grow light and get that direct light on them. So that is very important to know. It's a good thing to know. And I'm happy that I know. And I'm happy that you know. These are lobelia seeds. And these lobelia seeds look just like mustard green seeds. They're even more small. They're even tinier than mustard green seeds. You can see that. They're even tinier. And so, did not have any luck with this lobelia last season. So I am trying again did I plant it? I don't see it. It's not even open. So obviously it don't look like, unless I had 2 of these. I don't think I had 2 of these. I don't think I planted the lobelia last season. I thought I did, because I've only ordered this once. And so I don't have any, I didn't get any lobelia because I didn't plant it, because this is my packet and it is not open. It has not been open. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to get it open. And we're going to drop some of these seeds. And we're going to see, can we get some lobelia this season. So that's one thing, one reason why we don't get some of the stuff we thought we planted, because we did not plant it. And that's what this is the case with this lobelia. I did not get any. Okay, so I'm gonna make sure I plant this. Another thing that I planted this season, and I did not show you all when I planted. Uh-oh, that's a lot of seeds. That's a lot of these seeds are so tiny. It's gonna be hard to not put a whole bunch, but I'm gonna try to save some for another planting. But these another one that I planted was the Globe Amaranth, and they are those purple little seeds. I mean, they're the purple little flowers that have the they look like little balls. They look like little fur balls, but they're round. They're like little fur balls. They're purple, and they are very beautiful. And I planted some of those, and I did not plant them with you all. I wanted to tell you in case I forget to tell you later that I had planted those, but I did plant some of those. Okay, the next one I'm going to plant are my sweet alyssum. Okay, and then I have my Dusty Millers. These were sent to me by Cynthia. Thank you, Cynthia. Okay, I need to put that sweet alyssum right here. And the Dusty Miller. And then I'm going to have one more. I'm going to have one more row of cells that I can plant something. So now I have to decide which one of these do I want another row of. And since I already have the Dusty Miller out, I planted some nasturtiums also. I planted a lot of different things. I'm going to go ahead, since I started with the Dusty Miller, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop, ooh, that was a lot. I'm putting Dusty Miller in that last row also. Make me another label. And I hope that you all don't get tired of watching these seedling videos, because y'all, I am enjoying planting so much. This makes me so happy. I have a dome over here that's going to fit this. As I said, all of these need light. The only one that I see that need some a little soil on it are going to be these Cosmos, because these are some kind of big seeds. But although they do need some light, I'm going to put a little bit of this soil, just a little bit of the soil on them. And then I am going to add some of my vermiculite just lightly to the top. And I want these seeds to still be able to get some light. And y'all, I planted some more of my rosemary. And the rosemary are up. And so I am, I'm very excited about those. Rosemary plants have germinated. So as I said, I am having so much fun planting and getting things to germinate. I have already watered these. I have watered this tray from the bottom. So I am going to go ahead and I'm going to put the dome lid on and put them on the grow station underneath the light, since these need light to germinate. So I hope that you all have enjoyed the video today, and that you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload a new video. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.